Okay, guys, welcome to another night of Grubb Cast on Monday night. Steve Calder, watching from Iowa. That man is on the move. And I think Rusty Kaiser should be watching from Lake Erie. I'm glad to see you guys tuning in and watching. Let me get one thing here done. I got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. A lot of tournaments took place this weekend. A lot of things went on. Or this last week, actually. So, first off, let's talk about who makes this happen for me. My sponsors, Fish Sticks Rods. Guys, I'm telling you, I say it all the time, and I think I'm pretty sure I got another guy just this weekend at the state championship just got a hold of me and is interested in some Fish Sticks rods. I should have, they're building the one. Hey, Dirk. What if you send me the information on your tournaments, Dirk? I'll talk about you. Because you're a hammer. Any tournaments you fish, you usually win. So, but yeah, Fish Sticks rods. Dale just told me today he's going to start building the ultralight that Dave Bright won. So I'll show it on my show before I give it to Dave, so everybody can see some of the stuff. It's an ultralight rod actually that Dave's wanting built. So when I get it in, I'll show it on the show before I take off. Hey, Larry. But hook and donkeys, I'll show the baits here in a minute, what we're going to be doing. I tried out that new thing, the thing he calls it, that he talked about last week on the show. I did hook a nice keeper fish up at Indian Lake on it. I lost it before I got it to the boat. But I did. Nah, I wouldn't do that, Dirk. You're too good of a dude. But yeah, I'm real excited to try it out this weekend when I get up to Lake Erie. I don't know if I'll get to go out on the lake. Northeast winds are talking 15 mile an hour. I think I'll keep myself in the bay if it gets like that. But Sanborn Builders, guys, if you need painting, anything, remodeling, anything done, Andy, I was fishing at Drop Shot. Hey, Carol Butcher. Butcher. I gotta get that right, don't Carol. John will be on me. But yeah, I was using it Drop Shot. That's about the only way I'll probably fish it. That's how it's designed, is for drop shotting. But Ace Hardware down on Richland Avenue, guys, you can get anything from plumbing. They've got the egg grills. They've got several different other kind of grills, any kind of hardware you can think of. And best of all, you can get the 1099 jig from Blue Rock Bait and Tackle. They got Blue Rock Bait and Tackle down there. So stop down and get your hardware supplies and some bait from Blue Rock Bait and Tackle. Hobbs Roofing, Pizza Stop out here in Albany, Southern Ohio Sanitation, Williams and Son Construction. Ron can build it for you guys. He's the man. And Raccoon Creek Outfitters down on Route 50. Go down there and see Dustin and get you buy you a kayak. I've got one in my garage that I've had for 3 years. It's never seen the water, but I'm going to get it out this year. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get the daggone kayak out. I about said something that's not appropriate on the air here, but I'm going to get it out and get it in the water. It's 3 years old and it's never seen the water yet. But I'm so busy running, and if I ain't fishing tournaments or practicing for tournaments, I'm mowing yards. So it's been a nonstop summer, but I enjoy it. Okay, the baits. I'm going to give away a good summertime bait here. It is the 2.75 Ned Green Pumpkin Blue Shine. Whoever wins the trivia question night, it's going to be a good question. I'll send that out to you. And Donovan, if you're on here, I have not got your bait sent out. I seen them sitting on my desk today at work. I will get them in the mail tomorrow when I send these out to whoever wins these. I am sorry. They got buried up in paper in my desk at work, and I forgot to go to the post office and get them shipped out. So I'll get them to you. I'm not going to forget you. So that'll be for the trivia question tonight. Let's start with last Monday night. If I can do this, I got them all on pictures on my phone. Last Monday night, last call Bassmasters was at that ain't it. I do believe they was at 6 days ago. Yeah, they was at Lake Snowden. I believe's right. Well, that don't seem right because they're at Lake Snowden tonight. Let me look something here. Sorry, guys. Oh, no. Down here. Fox Lake. Is at Fox Lake last week. I didn't think it was right with Lake Snowden. Fox Lake for last call Bassmasters last Monday night. John Daniels and Mike Wagner took top honors in Big Bass with the total weight was 3.58 and Big Bass was 206. Second place went to Roger and Dustin Mullins with 3.46. So that was last Monday night. They're at Lake Snowden tonight. Tuesday night, they was down on the river at Belpre. I thought it was going to be a little stained up for them, but evidently the main river must have been in good shape, and they was catching the fish. First place went to Rick Greathouse and Brian Rose with 7.94. Second place and Big Bass went to Kenny Webb and Mike with their total weight of 7.30, and Big Bass was 3.83. That's a nice fish for the high river, 3.83. Third place went to Shane Lockhart and Dave Grant with 5.37. So they had a pretty good way to fish last week down on the river. Wednesday night, Let me get back up to that. At Lake Snowden, Wednesday night. Last Wednesday night, Lake Snowden. Guys, we're catching the fish out there. Unbelievable bag weight in this last Wednesday night. Sean Hammond put the smack down on us. He had 4 fish for 8.68, and he had big bass at 4.86. He put the smack down. And the bad part about the whole situation is me and Josh caught our first fish we caught was a 15-inch keeper and over. And we ended up with 2 overs and 2 unders thinking, well, we got it. And then we come in there and Sean smacked us hard. We had second place with 5.17, me and Josh. In third place went to Jared Starkey with 3.21. So, guys, that was a pretty good, some good bags of fish last week at Snowden. Snowden's turning on. And then Sunday, I believe it's, see, that's Belfry. Sunday, last call was at, I'm going to do it backwards because this other tournament I'm going to talk about, the state championship, for a little bit. Last call was at Dow Lake Sunday, and first place in Big Bass went to Brody Cochran and Cole Joy with 4.59 for total, and Big Bass was 2.45. Second place went to John Rose and Brian Rose with 4.39. And third place went to Mike and John Daniels with 3.23. So that was a pretty good way in down at Dow Lake too. For as hot as well, I think you guys had some rain down here. We had rain up north. And they're back at Belpre tomorrow night. They're at Snowden tonight, and they're back at Belpre tomorrow night. And we're back at Snowden Wednesday night. So, also too, Saturday, let's get that out of the way. Run and Gun fished the mighty Muskingum River. First place in the Run and Gun at the mighty Muskingum was Terry Lunsford and Howard Miller with 6.46. Second place was McGrath and Coon with 5.14. Them's good weights of fish for the Muskingum River. See. Third place was French and French with 4.07. And fourth was Bergham and Kenny with 3.84. So that was pretty good weights for the Muskingum River. Here we go. Where's this at, Dirk? Dirk just sent me this. The KMTT tournament trail fished Alum Creek the 27th. That would have been yesterday. Yeah, yesterday at Alum Creek. First place went to Dirk Davenport and Hollenbach with total weight was 17.86. Second place went to Norman and Dalton with 15.78. And third place went to Hart and Franks with 15.31. I'll do the top 5. Fourth place went to Boers and Uber with 13.68. And fifth place went to Duffin and House, and they had 12.85. Boy, the weights, Dirk, has dropped up there. You guys had a pretty common bag for Hallam anymore. But of course, we're getting into the summer, so yes, it is. And I've got a semi-nationals there in October, Dirk. Hint, hint. I have to check and see when we're not allowed to talk to anybody about it. But yeah, we're up there the second week of October. Maybe we'll go fishing sometime, Dirk. Okay, got the run and gun. Now let's go into the big tournament. These are all good tournaments too. But we had our state championship at Indian Lake this last weekend. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, the sun was out. It was hot. And Sunday, it stormed on and off all day. It was pretty decent weather, but the fishing was way different on Sunday compared to Saturday for me. We'll talk about that later. I had an amazing weekend. The weights don't show it on the sheet, but I had an amazing weekend up there. I had a lot of fun. Just could not get the bigger bites. But we'll go ahead and give the guys that done good the praise, and then we'll talk about mine for just a little bit. First place with 24.59, Ed Elliott. Let's do it this way. Ed on day one had 11.04, and on day two he had 13.55. So he had a better day on day two than on day one. Richard Burns had 12.02 on day one. He had 9.61 on day two. Now, I talked to Richard on day one, and he weighed in at 5'11" for big fish. He said at last cast, he had 4 fish in his live well. The last cast before he had to head in to check in, he caught that 5'11". That goes a long ways, and it shows on the sheet. But he went back out the next day and put him in there too for a second place finish. Third place, Alex Connor. On day one, he had 9.18. And on day two, he had 11.99. He stepped up the game on day two. Fourth place, Rice Parvin. I butcher these names. 9.80 on day one. And day two, he had 10.48. Nope. 10.07 on day two for 19.87. I didn't say Alex. He had 21.17 on the total. And Richard Burns had 21.63 for second place. Okay, fifth place, Kane Goodfry had 9.21 on day one and 10.48 on day two for a total of 19.69. Sixth place, Rob Dean had 8.01 on day one, and on day two, he had 9.82 for 19.22. That's the top 6 in the boater side. Okay, top co-anglers, top 6. Ken Bake won it. First place with day one, 8.02. Day two, he had 11.08. Day two, or second place, was a Perry County legend. He might be on here tonight. Fred Redfern. On day one, he had 7.08. And on day two, he had 10.42. So he really stepped his game up on day two. Third place was Caden Maiden with 4.19 on day one. Wow. He really stepped it up on day two. Day two, he had 12.63. I guess I need to go back up here. First place total was 1910. Second place was 1750. And Caden had 16.82. Fourth place was Steve Steve Hayes with 8.14 on day one. Day two, he had 7.45 for a total of 15.59. Sixth place was Stan Cox with 6.85 on day one and 8.32 on day two for 15.17. Big bass on the day one for the co-anglers was Sandy Detweiler. Day two was Ken Bake. Sandy's was 3.94 and Ken's was 4.28. On the boaters, on day one, I already Richard Burns with 5.11. And day two, I'm going to butcher his name. No, Brian Lambert with 4.69. The guys, Indian Lake, let's see, I don't know. I don't think I have that. Yeah, here it is. Indian Lake, listen to these stats. Total weight for co-anglers caught 534.72 fish weight of fish caught on the co-anglers. 374 fish weighed in. Average weight of fish was 1.43. On the boater side, total weight caught 752.3 pounds. Number of fish was 466 12-inch fish caught and over. Hopefully, Kenny, it gets even better coming up there this weekend. Of course, I don't know. The sun might be shining, but it sounds like the wind's going to be blowing. 466 fish caught, and average weight of fish was 1.61. So there was a lot of fish caught. And with that being said, with I ended up 22nd place. I got to find the right sheet. I ended up 22nd. On day one, I weighed in 8.02. On day two, I weighed in 7.03. But guys, like I said, I had an amazing weekend. I done what every angler hates to do on day one. I stepped up on the front deck. I threw the spinnerbait out. I clicked the rod reel and leaned into the rod with about a 2.25 pound. First cast, didn't even reel the handle. Set the hook. I had a 2.25. I was like, wow, is this the way my day's going to go? And it did. I had 17 keepers on day one. But I could only come up with 8 pounds and out of my best 5. It was a really tough, to get the big fish bite. And then on day two, I had 12 keepers. I didn't catch one the first cast till day two. I was a little worried on that first cast, and I didn't catch one. I was like, uh-oh. But shortly after that, we pulled in, went down the bank, and one little spot, Mikey put 2 in the boat, and I put 1 in the boat. But I was around a lot of fish. Mikey only had 2 fish on day one, but he lost 3 keepers on day one. So he should have had to limit the boat on day one. And on day 2, he had 7 keepers with 5 fish on day 2 out of the back of the boat. So we was on fish, just not the right size. I should have probably adjusted maybe and went. I tried a couple different places, but I knew in my practice up there, I was catching numbers, but no size. And I knew that, of course, Friday, I was up there on practice, and I had a 3-pounder Friday in the same area I was fishing the tournament. But I got lucky actually, because the keepers that I was catching in practice up there 4th of July weekend, my best weight in 3 days up there was 714 out of all my keepers. So the fish got a little better on day 1. Now day 2 they about common, because one day I had 6-9 out of my best 5, and the other day I had 7-12 out of my best 5 in practice. So, but it was a very fun weekend. Indian Lakes got the fish. Yeah, Carol, I love my sunglasses. As you guys can see, they're talking about my suntan. But here's the problem that I run into. Not only am I on the boat all weekend long fishing, I'm on a mower mowing all week long. So, and then that's when you end up with stuff like this. Next week I'll have the Band-Aid off, but they cut a big chunk out of my hand last Tuesday and sent it off for biopsy for skin cancer. I've had a few other spots taken off, and they biopsy it and they say it's good. Say it's some kind of scamocelus something, but it's not. It's cancer, but it's not the melanoma or whatever. I don't know that. These guys, I just tell them get it off of me and let's go on. Don't mess my hand up to where I can't fish. I've got a lot of tournaments coming up here, so. Okay, let's see. Let's get into on the state championship, guys. If you were the top 34 in the state championship, you will get an email. And you need to accept that or decline it. You have 3 weeks after you get the email to get it paid, or we're going to start going down the list. So, guys, if you're below 34, don't count yourself out yet, because we may have to come down the list to get it. Our plans are 60 boats in the semi-nationals. And how we'll do that is we take 34 from the state championship, boaters and co's, and then each club that has participated in a regional can send one team for every 10 members they have. For instance, our club has 26 or 27 federated members, so we can send 2 teams, 2 boaters. So, hey, Tom. So, for instance, like me, I double qualified. So, I'll go through the state, and then Charlie Newsling can go as it. Watch out. Can go as a boater in my spot, because he finished high enough in the club. So we'll get the other members we need numbers from the club that sends the teams. So even if you didn't, and that's the thing, if you didn't qualify through the state and you was high enough in your club, you guys can come through your club if you have the right. Every club can send. If you got 6 members, which you have to have 6 members to be a club, can send 1 team, 1 boater, 1 co-angler. And then after 10, if you have 20, I think it's 20, you can send 2 boaters and 2 co-anglers. If you have 30 members, you can send 3 boaters, 3 co-anglers. So I don't think there's any club above 30 members. There's one club I think's got 30 some members. So we'll get our numbers, after that. And like I said, guys, I would say probably, and don't hold me to this, I'd say 40th place down is probably going to be good for the semi-nationals to get in. Boaters may be a little rougher, but co-anglers, there'll be co-anglers not signing up. So we'll go down the list. So, okay, let's go ahead and get the trivia question done. Let's see if I can't screw this up. Guys, I really appreciate everybody being on here, commenting, and I think Kenny's probably, you should be up to Erie too, probably. If you ain't far from headed that way, I'm sure. Okay, trivia question. In 2009, Kim Bain Moore was the first lady to ever fish the Bassmaster Classic, to compete in a Bassmaster Classic in 2009. Where was that classic at? 2009, Kim Bain Moore competed in was the first lady to ever compete in a Bassmaster Classic. Where was it at? Yep, Donovan. Well, I guess you'll just get 2 packages of baits. Red River, Shreveport, Louisiana, on the Red River. Well, you just saved me $5 and something, Donovan, because then I can put both baits in the same package, and they'll ship them both at the same time. There's a reason I didn't get them shipped, ain't there? Okay, Donovan gets them too. Yeah, Kim, and she ended up, let's see, what did it say there? She ended up, I think, 50, maybe it was on the other one I looked at. I think she ended up 47th out of 51, I think, at the Classic. Hey, Tracy. There's Marilyn. She lives up on Chesapeake Bay. I was watching today, Trey Swindle they had an open up at Chesapeake Bay I think last weekend on the Potomac River. Well, guys, I think that's about a wrap for the night. I've got to go out. I'm going to put some pot pies in the oven. I've got to go out and weld my jack on my mowing trailer. Yeah, I do need to come over and fish. Absolutely. But there's old Jeff Dyer. Tell your son I've got a really nice fishing pole I will sell him. Or I'm going to start putting it in my boat and using it. But yes, Tracy, I definitely need to come to Chesapeake and fish. I would love to fish at Chesapeake Bay. But guys, I'm going to get out there and get my trailer welded. And by the time I get that done, pot pies will be done. He's probably fishing a tournament somewhere tonight, Jeff. I think then Mondays, ain't they, at Lake White? So, okay, guys. I think that's a wrap for the night. I will see you guys next week. And we'll have some info on the BFLs. Jackson Lake. That's it. Yeah, we'll have. I'll have some info on the BFLs. I've got. I'm 75th place. They take 65 for the regionals, so I've got at least weigh in a halfway decent bag up there. I'm thinking, Kenny just said there earlier, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, and I believe the way the app's showing, it's going to be northeast, 15 to 20 northeast. Coming out of Sandusky Bay mouth will be a nightmare. There'll be 7-footers, at least 6, 5 to 6 at the mouth of Sandusky. You guys can have that big water. I'll stay in the bay and fish for my little greenfish and not worry about beating my brains out or busting my boat in two. I got too many other tournaments to fish to do that. So, okay, guys, I'll talk to you next Monday night. Everybody be safe, get out on the water and have fun. See you next week.